All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Beneath the Mendoza Line podcast. As always, Nate and Alex here. It is the middle of April, April 18th to be exact here. Season well underway. A lot of fun, exciting things happening in baseball now. Got a good episode here for you. Really wanted to start and dive into a bunch of the injuries. The injury bug has caught a bunch of players, especially a bunch of pitchers as of right now. Some of your big names in the injury conversation, player wise, Ozzy Albies just went down, huge blow for the Braves. Interesting note about the Braves: Ronald Acuna Jr. as of today has not hit a home run. Interesting note: J. Rod, Julio Rodriguez also has not hit a home run. Just in case the little stat heads out there wanted to know that. Rafael Devers goes down. Jake Cronenworth goes down. Christian Yelich goes down. Some big names. Ke'Bryan Hayes in Pittsburgh, big name, went down as well. Seiya Suzuki, Chris Bryant,
Yep.
Brett Beatty for the Mets. Tyler O'Neill, who had been absolutely killing it in Boston the first for the first 2 weeks here. Trevor Story, that's not a new story for Trevor Story. That's the
No,
norm for
correct.
him. But I feel really bad for the guy. We really haven't seen a real good full season from Trevor Story. I know his hype coming into the big leagues was pretty crazy. But yeah, bunch of big names going down early. No, yeah, Trevor Story obviously out for the year. A lot of these guys are placed on the 15-day IL. Won't be lasting injuries, but should be out basically until the first week of May, which is disappointing. Any other big injuries, Alex, that you saw player wise?
No, not a lot. You pretty much covered all the ones that I had seen through Twitter and things of that nature. I've been out a little bit on baseball just the past week. Just got a bunch of other stuff going on. Not a big deal, but of course,
He's a
following your
married
team,
man.
following whatever. Uh, uh, I think you nailed them all. One non-injury departure from MLB. Steven Strasburg retired.
Yes,
I know
officially.
that's not an injury now, but an injury of his career. I
Sure.
remember watching his first start when I think he struck out like 16 or whatever in his
Crazy.
debut. Um,
Throwing
so just said this,
102.
yeah, throwing 102 and no shit why his shit blew out. So yeah.
Big pitcher names that have gone down. Big one, Spencer Strider. That's a huge blow for the Braves. Um, Bobby Miller, who had kind of gotten a little bit roughed up there out in LA. He hits the IL. Yu Darvish is a big blow for the Padres. Um, who else do I have down here? Nick Pivetta, hadn't been doing the best, but he's still a solid guy out in Boston. Other big names, Shane Bieber goes down for the Guardians as well. Um, Jameson Taillon for the Cubs. Framber Valdez, I know that was big. Obviously, they don't have Verlander, and Framber Valdez goes down. Urquidy, I think, is the other guy that went down as well for Houston. Kyle Bradish for the O's. So some other big pitching names are going. Obviously, Shane McClanahan has gone already for the full year. Brandon Woodruff already gone for the full year. Garrett Cole under speculation whether or not he'll be gone for the full year. So the injury bug has really caught on to a bunch of pitchers and players at this time.
Do you think we'll see any signings come through? We still have Greinke out there. I know he's 40, but I mean he's probably still got some innings to shove. Matt Boyd, Rich Hill, Keuchel, Baumgartner, Syndergaard, Cueto, Bauer. Do you think anybody signs him on
All
in the
those
next
guys are
coming?
so old. The big one
But
that
at
I
this point, I mean, they're still pitching into their 40s. They're not
yeah.
throwing 90, 99. That's fine. You just need inning eaters. I mean,
hmm
especially if you're like a
That's
club
Rich
in the
Hill. Yeah.
Central, you just got to eat innings at some point.
Yeah, that's Rich Hill. Um, yeah, I mean, the other one that I was thinking of is big boy from Texas, Jordan Montgomery. He fired Scott Boras as his
I
agent.
saw that. Yeah, I
Um,
don't blame him at all. I mean, Scott
yeah,
Boras fumbled the bag for multiple
yeah,
people, and I think organizations were just sick and tired of dealing with him.
yeah, because I think he signed a deal or signed an agreement with Arizona, not too like honestly not too far before the start of the season, and I don't think he's like reported. I think that deal totally fell through. And I was really looking forward to seeing him pitch because he was so good last year and fielded his position very well down in Texas.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember. I think last year we talked about that he was going to be a major trade target, and obviously he ended up with Texas, which was huge for them.
yeah, so I know Senga as well for the Mets went down. So the injury bug has plagued a bunch of teams, which is a little frustrating if you are um, you really wanted to get out and see a bunch of those guys. I know I was upset that the Nats are or the Dodgers are coming out here. I was really hoping to see Bobby Miller when he came out here. Obviously, that's not gonna happen now. I really wanted to see Spencer Strider. Obviously, they come to DC, 4 times a year. Obviously, that's not gonna happen either. So pretty disappointing on that end. Anything else do you think we need to discuss about the old injury bug in Major League Baseball right now?
Um, I'm working on a theory, so publications to come. Don't want to spoil it. I am doing some research on the effects of amphetamines and the lack thereof of players using them in current day baseball, and the increase in Tommy John surgery. There is
Hmm.
a slight inverse correlation when it comes to amphetamine usage and Tommy John surgery, but I got to get my facts straight before I throw a full report. Stay tuned.
Sure, we'll stay tuned for that one. Always working on theories here on this podcast, always bringing the top-notch research and studies um, yeah, for those theories, and please stay tuned for Alex's theory on the amphetamine usage and UCL surgeries plaguing Major League Baseball. Couple things I wanted to discuss. Last weekend, yes, I went out to 2 weekends ago. I went out to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
The Buckos
The Buccos, and I went
raised
to
the Jolly Roger.
raise it. They did raise the Jolly Roger when I was out there. I got a buddy Josh. Shout out Josh. Lives downtown Pittsburgh. Got a great place. Really close to the stadium there. We walked across the Roberto Clemente Bridge. Um, Big yellow bridge. There's like
Still under
five.
construction, or is it all
No, no,
good?
no. Completely good to go. Completely
All
good to
right.
go. There's like five yellow bridges. I thought there was just the one in Pittsburgh. There's like five of them.
Okay.
They all look exactly the same. But the big one obviously is the one right across from the stadium there. Pretty amazing. They shut the entire bridge down, uh, you know, 2, 3 hours before the game, um, and then 2, 3 hours after the game, and so people can walk across it. I walked right across the bridge, right down the middle.
Oh, fantastic. Do they have
Pretty
hot dog stands, people selling
no,
t-shirts on it?
not.
Is it or no
I think a
solicitation?
couple hat vendors. Maybe I didn't see any food vendors down there. But they have a really cool, um, kind of like a little ballpark district where there's maybe 4 or 5 restaurant kind of bar places. Prices were good. Food was good there. But it was a really awesome stadium to go to. It is what it's hyped up to be. The downtown landscape is absolutely amazing. The view from there is incredible. Seeing the Allegheny run right behind the stadium is pretty sweet. Seeing the 21-foot wall out in right field, the Roberto Clemente wall, is pretty awesome. Um, the game itself was actually a walk-off. The Pirates walked off the Orioles, which was pretty cool to see. Um, Good crowd there. Energetic fans was really an awesome place to watch a game. A night game there, would be special just to see all the downtown skyline lit up. It's literally on top of you. It's very impressive. St. Louis is a little bit like that, but in St. Louis they're kind of still in the distance a little bit, but it's literally right across the river is the stadium in Pittsburgh.
Nice.
So
Uh,
very
we've been
very awesome.
we've been to all kinds of different stadiums. I think there's three main kinds in terms of atmosphere. There's the middle heart of the city stadiums,
Hmm.
Pittsburgh, St. Louis, Baltimore. I guess you could consider DC. You have the on the outskirts of the city, such with large parking lots, such as the Dodgers. Uh, I guess the
Brewers.
Dodgers are a little different, but yeah, Brewers, Kansas City with big tailgating scenes. What would you or the big complexes, which is a little different, but like a Jerry World, Texas, for example,
Hmm.
would be an example of that. Which of those kind of atmospheres are your
Arizona
favorite?
would be a good example of that as well. Um, Honestly, I'm it's a tough one. I really like the downtown atmosphere because if you want to obviously get a beer right around the stadium, before the game, everyone is in baseball jerseys. Everyone has baseball hats on. Everyone's talking about the game, right? And even afterwards, when you go to those bars or go to those restaurants, everyone's talking about the game. Everyone was just at the game, right?
Correct.
Tailgating baseball is fun. I think it's cool, but it's not tailgating football, which is
Fair.
king, right? I don't. I mean, I want to be in by first pitch. I want to see first pitch. And I
Correct.
feel like people who are tailgating, it's like, oh, we're stick around. The guys that I know that tailgate baseball games are the guys that get in at the third inning, right?
Correct.
And they've already
Correct.
lost an hour of the game. I want to see first pitch. I want to hear the anthem, that type of thing. So I really appreciate the downtown stadiums where a bunch of the stores and obviously all the restaurants and bars have flags out there. They have the team flags. They got team inspired beers, they have team inspired food, stuff like that. If you don't go to the game, they're showing the game on the TV. You can feel the atmosphere there. Um, where you can find that in some of the outskirt places. You definitely don't find it in Kansas City. That is for darn sure. But the brewer in Milwaukee is interesting because you can take those shuttles to the bars, right?
Correct. Yeah. I
They have
mean,
those good partnerships. Out in LA, the Strip runs right next to Dodger Stadium. You can still feel that energy. The complexes are fun because they're massive. Down in Texas, it's
massive.
absolutely massive. Um, Obviously that one out in Las Vegas is going to be incredible as well. Personal preference though, I like the downtown. I like being able to walk there. I don't like driving to the games because we do preach sober driving. We do preach responsible drinking on this podcast, and that's why I would very much more prefer the downtown stadium where you can walk everywhere, take public transportation.
Where would you
Um,
rank the 3A, I'll call it, the New Yorks of the world? And I guess you could maybe like lump LA in there, but the New Yorks where you have to take a subway to get to the stadium. I mean, obviously there's little boroughs like Queens, you're right there and in
Yeah,
the
but if
Bronx
you're in,
girl.
in
But if you're
downtown or midtown Manhattan, yeah,
yeah,
I mean, we did that and it was a 45-minute ride at least all the way up to the Bronx.
Bronx,
I like that a lot because you have the fanfare on the subway. Everyone's wearing their Yankees hat.
correct.
Everyone's wearing their Jeter jerseys.
But
And
that's
I,
got
I
to be
like
just a
I like
pain
that
to be
fanfare.
like we went and they won. It must just be a pain to like at least if you're a diehard fan to take the train home from the Bronx with 45 minutes,
Especially if you're living in
sweaty.
Brooklyn. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And just hearing people bitching for 45 minutes. It's like at a
Yeah.
bar, at least have a beer, but I guess you could figure it out. But
Yeah, but Pittsburgh was pretty incredible. I put some photos up on our Twitter page. You can see those. Again, our Twitter handle is Beneath the Pod. That's our Twitter page. We put a bunch of photos up from that trip. We thank our sponsorship partners, Wendy's, for fueling our road trip home from that road trip. That biggie bag that I got, I think cost me. I subbed the soda for the
okay.
frosty.
Fair enough.
Pro
That's a
move
good
there.
move. Good
I think
move.
my total was 649. It was an
Yeah.
incredible deal. It
And
was
shout out to
in
Wendy's for comping that for you.
Yeah, it was in bumfuck Pennsylvania. But it was still a good time. About a 4.5 hour drive from DC. So not bad at all. Again, shout out Josh for his hospitality for taking us to the game there. Other good news here that's happened. Jackson Holiday um, makes his MLB debut about a week ago. Um, Finally got his first hit. He had started the year 8 straight Ks. Um, Obviously, finally figured it out with that first hit. Still only has one hit on the year. He's got a couple RBIs, but still that one hit on the year was a single to right field. Kept that ball for him. His parents were Matt Holliday and his mom were in attendance, so it's really exciting for them. The Orioles definitely have a type. Um, the very athletic, um, long hair, just power swinging left-handed batters. Adley
Correct.
Rutschman hits from both sides, but prefers to hit from the left side. Gunnar Henderson, exactly like that. Anthony Santander, exactly like that. Um, and obviously Jackson Holiday as well. He was hitting eighth or ninth and playing second base. His fielding was great. What did you see from Jackson Holiday?
No, his fielding hasn't been really good at second base. I mean, I think I've seen 4 or 5 pop-ups that he's just whiffed on in short.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it's not all his fault. I think his outfielders have to go call him off. So I'll give him a little pass on that. His ground ball defense has been fine. His throws have been all right. Um, obviously has big holes at the plate that he needs to work on. I mean, he swings over the top of those low, diving changeups that obviously the elite pitchers have in this league. It is, I mean, it'll grow. I saw a stat today. Someone tweeted Willie Mays started off his career 1 for 26, Cal Ripken Jr. 3 for 33, Ken Griffey
Sure.
Jr. 1 for 18, and Jackson Holliday 1 for 25. So small sample size. I think he'll be fine.
Sure. Yeah. No, he's going to be a stud. I know the people in Baltimore are very, very excited, very, very excited for him to do great things, and this podcast is as well. Other guys that we've been riding pretty hard on this podcast, Anthony Rendon. Anthony Rendon is out of the slump, officially
Um,
out of the slump. After our podcast, we'd like to give credit to this podcast. It's called the Beneath the Mendoza Line Bump, um, for Rendon's success. So please credit us for that. Um, I think after we released that episode, that next night, went 2 for 4 with a stolen base. Day after that, went like 3 for 4 or 3 for 5. So it's been figuring out. He took his average from 0 to like up to 250 or 260 or something like that in the last week to 10 days. So he's officially off of our shit list.
correct.
Horrible person, awful guy. In terms of that sense, but has figured it out, and we'd like to credit ourselves for that success. So keep that coming. Um,
Speaking of a pod bump, this pod was formerly a Kansas City Royals, Los Angeles Angels
was
fandom. No longer is. It is now a
no, it's
Dodgers
not
fandom.
correct.
Shout out to Nate. But Royals fighting for first place in the Central, and the Angels technically fighting for a wild card spot in the AL. Is
They're
Nate
there.
is Nate a curse? And that's all I.
They're
That's the only question I wanted.
They're there. I have written on my sheet here. Are the Royals good in all caps in six question marks? Royals 12-9 right now. Had that big 7 game win streak. Really, honestly, I credit that to. We all knew Bobby Witt Jr. was going to be there and Salvi was going to be there, but honestly, I'd credit that to the starting pitching, which has been absolutely electric, lights out, leading the league, leading the majors in almost every single category. The bullpen a little shaky. But the starting pitchers, Seth Lugo, Brady Singer, Michael Waka has been there for him. Cole Reagans has been an absolute stud. That starting pitching has been amazing for him. And that's got a new pitching coach last year. I think they're really starting to figure it out. And Cole Reagans has just been an absolute dog. But yeah, 12-9. The Guardians are a little bit better than I thought they were going to be this year. The Naylor boys hit home runs on Siblings Day, so that's fun.
Yeah, it was
Um,
really cool.
yeah, the Royals are in it, not in last place right now, and we're very excited for that. The Angels, I think they took 2 of 3 or 3 of 4 from Tampa Bay. I think they won today. Very close games there. Um, so yeah, they're doing well. Mike Trout's on an absolute tear. I think he's leading the majors in home runs right now, or tied with 7. Most of them are solo shots. Um, but he's doing really well, getting a ton of bags in,
Yeah.
stolen bags. Or I saw that he from 21 to 24 he had
Five
five
stolen
stolen, or
bases, and he already has
and
some
then
five this
this
year.
year already has over 5. So very
Correct.
impressive from Mike Trout. Like to see him doing well. But
You
yeah,
mentioned
the
it briefly on the Naylor Bros. Another cool thing in siblings. Al Leader and Mark Leader are the
yeah,
first
the
brothers
leader
to play
guys.
in the
Yep,
big leagues, and
he
also
got
have
crushed
sons.
today.
Yeah, he got crushed
He
today.
got
What is it?
smoked.
3 innings.
Yeah, he got absolutely worked today
Yeah, I felt bad,
by
but
Detroit.
correct. It was brutal.
Yeah, he got rocked. But he throws gas, and obviously both those guys are where is the other kids? Yeah, the Cubs.
Yeah, Cubs.
Yep. So
Mark
yeah,
Leader.
yep. So that's awesome. Other things I want to talk about. I am going Tuesday, possibly Wednesday. I play softball, and that's on Wednesdays. But definitely Tuesday and Thursday. Dodgers are coming to town. We're gonna be posting a ton of photos, ton of videos from the game. Coming to DC here. I don't think we're gonna get Yamamoto. He's pitching tomorrow, so
Dang
could
it.
possibly get him next Thursday. I doubt it though. If I'd say
Are
he
they
has to go
running are
5.
they running six-man rotations there?
I think it's only 5. That's the thing, and they have off day on Monday.
Uh,
So I'm thinking we might get him Thursday. I think if he goes anything over 5 innings, we probably won't get him next Thursday, but it's a possibility.
So let's hope he gets
Um,
shelled.
yeah, so I think we could get him, but either way, um, the Dodgers fans travel really well. I'm excited to see the fan base out here, so that's going to be awesome. Um, I think I've seen Mookie Betts only live twice. It's going to be cool to see. Will Smith, I don't think I've ever seen him live. Teoscar Hernandez is doing really well. Um, I love Max Muncy. He crushes the ball here in DC. So that's gonna be awesome. But that's next Tuesday, probably not Wednesday because I have softball, but they're definitely going Thursday. So that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Can you plug your softball stats for us, please?
So softball stats had first game last night.
Okay, all
Um,
right. Are you
yep.
1-0?
No, unfortunately the team lost. Um, We have, yeah, shout out to K-Town Crew. That's our team name. We play on the National Mall. Last year went to the championship. Unfortunately, the other team we played last year in the championship had some ringers. Some guys, we played that team 3 times. Oh, and apparently they bring in a college shortstop that hits bombs and catches everything and catches every ground and gets every ground ball. We won't talk about that. But yeah, last night lost 9-6. We were up 6-5 going into the bottom of the last inning and unfortunately, a couple errors in the field. I play first base um, in softball, especially rec league softball. There's a lot of people that can't catch. It's
True.
interesting.
True.
So I play first base. Had a couple dig outs yesterday, so that was fun. Stats at the plate. I led off, lead off single to start the game.
Nice.
Um, got stranded at first. Um,
Well, tough.
yep,
Tough when you
got
lead off the game, get stranded at
yep,
first
got
in a
stranded at
softball
first.
game.
Next, next at bat, there was guys on bases juiced actually, and we had already scored 3 runs that inning. You can score a maximum of 5, and
Oh, okay.
so I hit. It would have been a double, probably bases clearing double, but the two people that had
And
scored at
then done.
second and third, yeah, there was like, all right, 5 runs. That's the max. Um, Next at bat pimped one down the left field line, got called foul. I thought it was fair. The umpires, right? Didn't. I didn't think he had the best angle. He was kind of standing off to the side. Didn't think he was really paying attention. He called foul. Big uproar from the bench. Um, it would have been inside the Parker for sure. But then next pitch, I hit it pretty deep to center. But the kid out there was playing perfect position and caught it.
Tough.
And I think that is, yep, 2 for 3. So double
All right.
single. So half
All
was
right.
halfway of the cycle. Um,
667.
so yeah, we did not win though, unfortunately. So we're going back next week. I think we play the same team actually next week.
Okay. All
So we'll get a
right.
little bit of revenge. Rec league softball is interesting because the guys that look athletic and look like they played baseball in high school or like even in college, those are the dudes that literally cannot hit slow pitch softball. They pop it
Correct.
up to center field every single time, or they roll it over literally right to the third baseman or the shortstop.
Yep. Pretty
Um,
much.
and it's very interesting. But yeah, we're playing them next week, I believe. So that'll be we'll come back next week for
You
this
gotta
for
you
the
gotta work
stats
on
on
your
that.
golf swing a little bit before you get into softball because you got to
Yeah,
get a
it's
little bit
it's
of an
wood it's
uppercut
wood bat
on.
too.
Oh wow, you
Yeah,
guys
it's
are
wood bat.
fancy. Can we
Yeah.
get Wendy's to sponsor and get some fences for the local Washington D.C. softball field, please? I would
Well,
very
it's in
much
the
appreciate
National Mall.
that.
You can't have fences there.
Ooh, I will. Good
It's right
point.
on the mall. Like literally, I'll take a picture. I'll post it on our Twitter page.
Please
It's
do.
for the next game. It's right on the mall.
I would like
The
a
Washington
lineup
Monuments
card
right there.
possibly before the
Well,
start of the next
so
game.
so that's interesting because our captain, his name is Spencer. Shout out Spencer. He has a clipboard that he brings that has like a whiteboard that you write on. He left it at the game. He left it there. He texted me afterwards. He's like, "Holy crap! I left the board at the first game. He had it all last year. He left it at the first game. He also left. There was a couple of people that weren't there. He left the extra T-shirts at the game as well.
Fantastic.
So
So hey,
those
you might get some ringers.
yeah, so our next game, those people that didn't show up the first one, they will not have a t-shirt. So that's good news. But yeah, we are colors are red. That's it, just red. But yeah, Cape Town Crew, shout out to Cape Town Crew. So we'll keep you updated on that. Um, Other things I want to talk about here. The new jerseys are disgusting. They are so gross. If you didn't know, they changed from they changed the manufacturer to Fanatics, and it's pretty disgusting. The biggest what they look like they're high school jerseys. Like the
Correct.
outlining on all the letters and the numbers are it's not there anymore. They look like almost silky. They just look gross. They're horrible.
Do we have I don't know if this is where you're going with it, but I agree with you. Do we have all 30
City
City
Connect?
Connect jerseys yet?
No,
I don't
no,
think
no,
so
no.
because
There's eight
I
more.
there's 8 more, and I think the Mets are getting one this year. I'm not. I think they leaked, but
I
I'm not
think they're. I think
100%
it's
sure.
all going to be done this year. I think
Okay,
they're all done.
I promise you, I will take Fanatics out of the equation. We will power rank the City Connect
Absolutely.
jerseys at the end of
Yeah.
the year.
The one that's going to be interesting, do I think that George Steinbrenner will ever allow the Yankees to wear the City Connect ones? I mean, they have to wear them at home. I think he's going to put the nosh on it. I think he's going to say, we don't want this. We only pinstripes.
It could be just say City Connect on the pinstripe jersey.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like they have
it
the
could say
little
the Bronx.
patch.
It just say the Bronx or the Bronx Bombers. That's honestly probably what it's going to be. It's probably
Yeah,
going to say
instead of
Bronx
Yankees or
Bombers with pinstripes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not even Bronx Bombers. It could just be pinstripes, and they just I don't know. It's a great question, and I'm very interested.
Yeah, that's exciting stuff. This podcast would be remiss if we did not mention the Shohei stuff that's going on. Updates to the Shohei situation, the gambling Shohei allegations. Ipe, the translator, everyone knows him. He was federally indicted for the crimes against Shohei Ohtani.
Correct.
And so, just as this podcast predicted, that those charges would have to come federally, have come. Um, $16 million or something like that was I think in the initial reports. But we will keep you updated and appraised of that situation
Yeah.
going forward.
Couple of pieces of advice for you bookmakers out there or those of
Sure.
you looking to get into the business. Do not bankroll $48 million to a guy making probably $100,000 or probably $300,000 a
Yeah,
year.
yeah,
Just probably not going to work out well.
yeah. Alex went to business school, so he knows what he's talking about.
Correct.
So there you
I would
go.
consider that a loss on investment.
Sure, that's business terms. That's we bring the heat here on this podcast. Um, Other things that get written down. We tweeted about this over this last weekend, but this podcast is officially calling for Angel Hernandez's job.
We are.
There's been a lot of complaints about him, especially this year. John Boy had a video put up this weekend. Literally, it was not right down the middle, but a ball. If middle, it was a ball above middle. It was
Correct.
disgusting. It was called a ball. Even the batter was just like, what? Like I think it was 2-0 and even the batter was like it's 3-0 now, like what's happening?
Correct.
So we're officially calling for his job. Even Major League Baseball has complained about him and has stated that he's low on the totem pole, why
What's even
he still has a
crazier
job.
is he's the crew chief too.
Yeah,
He's the crew chief. He's not like just in the crew. He is the crew chief. He owns that crew. I
yeah.
don't know how like the payout structure is or how the union umpire union work, but I'm pretty
He's a
positive you're the
union
crew
guy,
chief.
protected by the
You
union.
correct. Yeah, I was watching he was doing the Brewer game on I think it was Wednesday or whatever. Sal Frelick was up after William Contreras and or maybe it might not have been Contreras, it might have been Adames, but whatever. Sal's maybe 5'9", Contreras, Adames are probably 6'2", 6'1", right in that ballpark. And he just did not move the zone to adjust for the smaller man. So
Yeah,
a ball strike at the knees, like the full ball was a ball, and a whole ball up was a strike. He just didn't. He just did not care. He's like, "This is
Jesus.
my zone."
All we
Uh,
want is consistency out of the umpire
correct,
position. It's a
correct,
tough job to do, but all we want is consistency. If you're going to call a half ball, a ball outside the strike zone, a strike, both teams all night, buddy, all night. The inconsistency is where the fans and the players get upset about that. Other news: Dodgers, a little bit of a skid right now. Have lost the last uh, 3 of 4 series. I guess the first 4 series, 3 of 4 series that they played in. 4-6 in the last 10. Still in first place. Still got 12 or 13 wins now. But a little bit of a skid, um, which is I guess a little bit surprising. I thought they'd just absolutely murder everyone. Um, So yeah, other stuff I want to talk about here. Obviously, Jackie Robinson Day was on the 15th. All the players were wearing 42. That was really awesome to see. Um, um, and I saw that they
Did you like the Dodger blue numbers on all the uniforms? I thought that was a
yeah,
nice
that
touch.
was really that's exactly what I was gonna say. That was super cool. A bunch of the on MLB Network they doing a big tribute to Jackie Robinson, so that was really awesome to see. Um, that was very impressive. I had a question for you, Alex. Here, I saw a video. I think it was on the Pat McAfee show. They had Randy Johnson on either today or yesterday. They're obviously talking about the bird, the bird pitch when Randy
Sure,
Johnson
sure.
took out a bird. Um, is that a ball or strike? Hits the bird as he pitches the home plate. Is that a ball or a strike? How do we score that? I have no idea.
It's probably just a straight dead ball.
Just a straight dead ball, no
I think
pitch.
it's just a straight dead ball. No pitch,
No
straight
no
dead
pitch,
ball.
nothing.
It's almost as if like the batter calls timeout when the pitcher's in the
Yeah.
warm up and he
That was
throws the
good.
pitch, dead
Yeah.
ball.
That I think if there's
That's my only assumption. I'd
if
have to
there's a
look it up.
hindrance or any if there's a hindrance or any type of interference there, like okay, another situation would be if as the pitcher is going to home plate and the ball leaves his hand, fan runs on the field. It like runs right on like he climbs over the fence and runs right to first base. I think it would just be dead ball exactly. Um,
All right,
so yeah,
here's the I this all right.
he's looking up the ruling.
This is coming from a website called Reddit. In case nobody has heard, it's the first thing that
Credible.
popped up on Google, so it's definitely credible. If a batted or thrown ball strikes a bird in flight or other animal on the playing field, sometimes you'll see birds, kind of chilling in the outfield, maybe a squirrel,
Mm,
every once in a while, a stray cat. If you're in Oakland, the ball is considered alive and in play, the same as if it had not been touched by a bird or animal. Now, that says thrown or batted. Is thrown the same as pitched? I
it's
don't
up for
know.
debate.
That's the question.
We would like to hear from the
Um,
listeners about this topic. We will put this on the Twitter
I
page.
know a couple individuals in the rules department of baseball, and I will run that by them and see
Yeah,
what they
run
have to
that
say.
up the flagpole. This podcast probably says dead ball, but it's an interesting question there that we'd like to ask. Other things I want to talk about. I saw this very interesting photo the other day. It's a photo of the hot dogs that are offered at your MLB stadium. The brand of hot dog that's offered at your MLB stadium, and I wanted to read a couple of them off. The number one hot dog that is available at five stadiums. Sorry, it's available at the most stadiums, which is five, is Nathan's Hot Dogs. That is
Interesting.
Miami, St. Louis, both New Yorks, and down in Tampa. Second place here, Hebrew National,
Okay.
out in Colorado, DC, San Diego, and San Francisco. Another one with four is Vienna Sausages.
Yep, that is
Um,
the Brewers, Vienna.
yep. Uh, both Chicago, Kansas City, and Milwaukee. The other two, Ballpark Franks, Detroit, Atlanta. Sugardale, never heard of that one, is Pittsburgh and in Cleveland. So yeah, if you'd like to know what hot dog is being sold at your stadium locally, please I'll post this picture to our Twitter page. Please go look at it. I thought that was an interesting little tidbit there. Um, so yeah. Other things, I saw a ton of videos about Javier Baez swinging at absolutely everything. I wanted to discuss that. I'll try to find the video and retweet it or re-exit. And literally, I think this ball was probably a full foot outside of the box, and Javier Baez is swinging at it like it's a home run swing. So, like
100%.
literally, it's his bat misses the ball by almost 2 feet. His head is way in the sky, and his shoulders are way back, and he literally misses it by almost 2 feet. Very interesting stuff out of Javier Baez. Never fails to disappoint.
There people make fun of it all the time, but Gronk threw out the first pitch at Boston over the weekend or over the last couple of
Gronk
days.
spiked it.
Gronk spiked it. I saw a combo
That's a
of
ball.
Javier Baez swinging at the Gronk
Yes, I did
spike,
see this. Yeah. Yeah.
which
By
was
the way, yeah,
fantastic.
that Gronk spike, that's a ball. That's one and
It
zero.
is a ball. Yeah, 100%. If it rolls and hits the batter, hit by pitch.
Sure. Um, Other things I want to talk about. I think that this podcast has to do a little hand up accountability for saying the Mets are written off. Again, another big bump from this podcast. The Mets were ass the last time we talked about them. They have rattled off a bunch of wins, played a really competitive series against Kansas City over the weekend. I think it's on us to go hand up accountability. And we are at this time taking back the writing off of the New York Mets. That's the one and only time this is going to happen on this podcast. So you're welcome, Mets fans. We are officially taking back. Alex still has his hand up over here. We are taking back the writing off the Mets, and we will be replacing them with the Chicago White Sox.
I was just
The
about to say,
Chicago
if
White
there is
Sox,
another fan base that you yourselves would like us to reverse jinx, let us know in the comments.
yes,
We're going with or tweet at us, I should say. This isn't a YouTube video.
X at us.
Yeah, X at us, please. Maybe on Instagram. But we are choosing the Chicago White Sox.
The Chicago White Sox are 13 and 15 or something stupid like
Three and
that.
15, yeah.
Sorry, 3 and 15. They are super ass. At this time, we will be writing them off. And like
Are
I said,
we
the Met.
do you want to take a flyer on the Astros? Can we write off the
Well, that was
Astros
the
at
other
6
thing.
and
I wrote
14?
down Astros are super ass. I wrote down their super ass. They're 6 and 14. They are currently in last place behind the A's in the AL West. But I think they're on the watch list. I have them. Astros are super ass on watch list. So
All right.
they're currently on a watch list. The White Sox are in the basement right now. They're being written off. You will not see us flip flop on this podcast.
Ever,
That's
ever.
the only time. Like I said, it's hand up accountability. We're taking accountability for that last statement, and we're addressing that now for the White Sox. Even if they rattle off 20 straight wins, they will be written off by this program here. I wanted to address that. Bobby Witt
No,
Jr.
big.
playing,
That's big of us. That's big of us.
yeah, exactly.
I just
That
wanted
shows
to pat
character.
ourselves on. That's big
Yeah,
on us. We never get anything wrong on this show. So it's nice to let people know when we see that we made a mistake.
sure. That's for the viewership, the listenership. Bobby Witt Jr. been playing really well, really well. Starting the season, hitting 321 right now, 4 home runs, OPS 997. Doing really well. Good things out of Bobby. He's obviously a stud. Roldis Chapman, I have down here. Roldis Chapman is ass.
Ass
I saw him
suspended two
pitch.
games.
Yep, I saw him pitch in Pittsburgh, and he was great. It was only an inning, um, but now he's really fallen off here.
Has
Um,
Aroldis Chapman always been ass, but people weren't throwing 102 as often as Aroldis
that's
Chapman
a
was when he
valid
came up?
That's a valid point. I think it's a 1 year deal, like $15 million, something like that.
Was it that
Out in
much?
Pittsburgh, he is their highest on the payroll. And I think he sucks. Another good quote I wanted to discuss here. Tyler Glasnow was on some like MLB Central show or some podcast. And I quote Tyler Glasnow, pitcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm a little radar slut.
Oh, all right.
Coming out of Tyler Glasnow.
All right, fair enough.
He was talking about how he is looking at the radar gun um, on up on the screen behind home plate to see how fast he's throwing and to see
Okay.
he was also talking about that if he pitches a cutter and it gets labeled as a slider or something like that,
He
he's
gets
like
super
he
pissed.
gets super pissed. Or if he throws like a faster changeup and it gets labeled as a cutter, like even like a two seam or something like that, he gets ultra pissed about it too. But yeah, Tyler Glass now, I'm a little radar slut.
All right.
I thought that was funny.
Dropping
And
bombs and radar slut. Sounds
yeah,
good.
I thought that was funny. Oh, the other thing I wanted to talk about Jackie Robinson is I wrote this down yesterday, but April 17th, 1947, Jackie Robinson had his first hit. Um, so right around Jackie Robinson Day, so it's pretty amazing. Last couple of things here. I think it might be time for the professor to call it quits. To Professor, obviously Kyle Hendricks out there in Chicago. He's been real booty. Um,
Yeah, he's
Disappointing.
been
I've always liked Kyle Hendricks, but he's been getting absolutely shelled.
Every game I've ever seen him pitch, he gets shelled. I mean, there's times where like he'll throw like a complete game, well, maybe not a complete game, but pretty dang close, like three hitter. Where he'll just get really, really lucky BABIP and just throw the ball in play and got ground ball outs, whatever. And then
Mhm.
other times he leaves that sinker hanging and it gets nuked by everybody.
Absolutely smoked. I had the stat on the Mets, by the way. They've won the last 10 of 13. So that's quite a bump from this podcast. Um,
NL Central best race division race in baseball. Three games
that's what I keep
separating
hearing.
top to bottom.
That's what I keep hearing. Obviously today, this will probably be released tonight or early tomorrow. But today, being Thursday, travel day, so not a whole lot of games on
Correct.
today. But definitely this weekend is gonna get hot and heavy. Where are the Brewers going? Are they coming home? No, they're at home.
Nope. We are, I think, headed to St. Louis for four. No, today's Thursday, so we're probably heading to St. Louis for three, and then after that, I'm not 100% sure. St. Louis for three, and then Pittsburgh for four. So big division games going on over the
Yeah,
next 7
yeah,
days for the crew.
yeah. On Saturday, I'm going to Nats Astros replica World Series replica ring giveaway.
Ooh, all
Uh,
right.
so that'll be cool. And then I think sometime May the 4th, we'll probably have another podcast before that, but May the 4th, they're doing like a bobblehead, like maybe Cal Finnegan or something like that. Like X-Wing flyer, something like that bobblehead. Looks pretty cool. So we'll probably get
Not
that.
bad.
Um, so yeah, gonna be a good, fun, exciting week. Anything else that you wanted to add at this time, Alex?
Nothing crazy. Again, as always, go to games. Nate went to Pittsburgh. I caught a foul ball over the first week of baseball. I think everything's looking up.
Yeah, and like especially here out on the East Coast, the weather is significantly better. I know on Saturday it's probably going to be 72, 73 degrees. So
Beautiful.
we're getting closer to warm baseball. We just need these pitchers and these position players to get to get healthier. Then we'll be right in the dog days and doing great. Um, Other than that, we'd like to wish everyone a happy week and like, comment, subscribe. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Let us send you a game. That's still a promotion we're running. As always, this podcast brought to you by Wendy's, MLB Ballpark app, MLB.com/TV, T-Mobile. Very, very proud partnerships with
Angle
this
reviews,
program. Angle reviews.
Briscoe reviews.
He just put up another review, I believe yesterday. So please go follow them. If you look at our Twitter page, he's mentioned numerous times in there. Um,
He
so
has
yeah,
mentioned that he would like to collab. He is interested in dissecting a baseball movie of our choice, one that he may not
sure.
have seen. So tweet at us if that's something that would interest you.
Big things on the horizon for us. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to everyone soon.